Hello and welcome to my video today. I'm going to be covering something that may be of interest to Fisker Ocean owners. In the next couple weeks to months, we may lose the ability to have the navigation function on the vehicle as far as navigation data, traffic data, and just data in general to the car may be compromised. I have been researching this for a while and have purchased two items today that I am going to be looking at installing in the car and comparing and contrasting. These are two different types of CarPlay Android Auto devices, and one has a wide angle view and one is more of a square view, and the shapes of these affect where they can get located in the car. I think I'm going to show the advantages of both of these in the locations where I can put them in the car, and I'm going to show how they work for common apps such as Google Maps or Apple Maps, as well as some music programs. Another interesting thing is both of these offer dash cams for the vehicle. So it's an integrated dash cam on this one and a separate dash cam on this one that connects with a wire. So it'll be interesting to see the dash cam possibilities with the vehicle, since I have not covered using a dash cam with the Fisker Ocean, and having a device that does both Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a dash cam, I think is pretty nice to have in the vehicle. So I am going to be unboxing these and setting these up in the vehicle. So let's get started. I have two items I'm going to be looking at. I have been interested in getting an Android Auto or a Apple CarPlay unit for the Fisker Ocean for a while now, and I did get one in for a couple months, but it didn't work out. So I am doing this over again, and I purchased both of these items myself. So I'm going to see which one I like better. This one's an Atoto P507 SD S31, which is a mouthful. And this is the Lamtto RC14. These both have very similar features. This one has more of a squarish shape on the screen versus this one is a very wide angle. So the placement of these two may be different. So I may find a better place for this one than for this one. I'm going to compare how it installs and also the software and see which one I like better as far as which one works better with the software on the Fisker Ocean. I'm going to be pairing both of these with my iPhone 16 Pro Max, and that will be connected to the car via Bluetooth. And I know that both of these allow several different ways to configure for allowing communication from the phone, either directly to the car or through the screens themselves. So I'm going to see which one works best for my situation. So I am going to open these up. I'm going to open the Lamtto one right now. Let me move that one out of the way. Take the bag off. And let's see, open the tab. Pretty straightforward. We have a nice foam protective on the top, and we have the screen itself. Let's see, it's in a nice bag, and we have a screen protector. And another nice thing is it has a whole bunch of instructions of what to do when connecting it to the car. They also have some QR codes for installation, which is pretty handy. And it already has a mounting plate on here so that you can adjust where it goes. So on the back, this could actually be probably removed and use an alternate one if you wish, because I think there's other options in the box. And we also have a camera here, dash cam, and it looks like it's fully adjustable. And what else do we have on here? Oh, on the side we have a Type-C USB port. We have an AV in port. We have a what looks to be a micro SD port. Is there one in there? I don't know. I'll have to look. Let me get my... Yeah, there is one in here. Very curious. Ah, it's got 64 gigabyte micro SD card already pre-installed. So that is pretty handy. My fingernails are a little too short today to get this back in. All right, so it's back in, and we also have an auxiliary port right here. So all your ports are on this side of it. There's an on and off switch on the top, and that's about it. So let me place that aside and see what else we have in the box. More foam, more cardboard. All right, so here's what I was talking about. Here's an additional mounting arm. This could be mounted to the windshield, most likely. It has a piece of plastic on here and it's sticky. So this could probably also attach to the dashboard. It's got multiple angles you can place it at. Let's see. Oh yeah, it even has an extension arm. So very cool. So if you wanted to, you could remove this one here. Let's see. Let me remove this and so you push it down to remove, and then you have the new one here, and then you can place this in the opening and press it up and it locks into place, and then you can swing it around and put it in however you want to mount it on the vehicle. So very cool. We also have a 12-volt plug here for the outlet that's in the trunk, along with a long USB-C cable. Hopefully this is long enough to reach the back. It may not be, and I do have an extension cord that I purchased so that I can connect to this and bring it all the way from the trunk to the front of the car. So that's the power. In this bag, we have a long cable, and in here is what's called the backup camera. So this can be attached to the car and be used as a backup cam. I'm not going to be installing this on the Ocean since I already have 2 backup cameras, and this is kind of not needed. So that's going to go back in the bag. But if you did have a vehicle that didn't have that, that would be a nice addition. What else do we have here? Looks like this is a mounting plate for a dashboard where you would peel this tape off and stick this on the dash, and then you could attach the suction cup to that and then press this lever down. So that's also for the dashboard. What else do we got here? We got a backup sticky pad. We have a trim removal tool, and we have a audio cable for doing accessories, and then there are some little clips here for routing the wires if you want to mount it. So that is nice to have. What else do we have? We have a card here for important tips and about warranty service. So that's something to look at. Mentions that it has 12-month warranty. So, all right. And then we have, oh wow, quite a thick book here. User manual. I'm not going to go through this right now, but it is, let's see, the English part is from here to here. So it's got 26 pages of instructions. So that's good to have to reference how to set up the unit. So that's what we got with this one. Let me put everything back in. I think I'm going to lean towards mounting this on the windshield, maybe near the rear view mirror. So I'll check it out, see what works best for this device. So I have one of the screens right here and the power cord for it. I also purchased an extension cord. Wasn't sure how long one I was going to need. I got a 10-foot one here, but maybe a 5-foot one could suffice. So I'll check to see which works best as far as extending the power from the rear port here and then going up to the front of the car. Here's a 128 gigabyte micro SD card. I recommend getting the high endurance varieties of these since they are better for dash cams. So I will insert it into the port right here. Got to turn it upside down. And then you got to push it in all the way, like that, and it's ready to be used. Here's where I mounted the screen. It's right below the rear view mirror. I used the windshield mount and adjusted it so that it's just below the mirror. I can still change the mirror from the digital to analog view. And this seems to be working pretty nicely. If you find this to be an issue, you could also mount it lower on the windshield, or you can mount it on the dashboard. You could mount it right in this area or to the left of the driver's screen. So it's pretty flexible with that. And what I did is I took the USB-C cable here and wrapped it around the mount. And then I tucked it right into the trim area here, right by the housing. And then I just tucked it all along here. I'll move this out of the way. I tucked it along here and just all along the top trim up to this point here. Then I routed it inside this panel and then all to the outside here. Then I went down this trim between the weather seal and the trim all the way down. I pulled up this trim piece for the door threshold. I routed it along here. And then it comes out right here because this is where it ends. The length of it is about 11 feet, and that's about as far as I could go. Then I had my extension cord connected to it. Eventually, I will relocate this to underneath the seat. I just did it here just to show you roughly where it ends. So for a cleaner install, I'll just have this under the seat, and then the wiring can go hidden and then route this way. Behind the trim panel here, I routed the wire behind the threshold all the way up to the seat, and you can see a little bit of it right there. So I routed the wire into the cargo area. And get some light here. Then in this corner, the wire goes underneath the floor all along here, and it comes out in this area right here with the outlet. So I happen to have an extension cord that has an on-off switch. I have it in on, so it's working right now. So yeah, so it's actually a pretty discreet setup. I think it works pretty well. Another advantage of using the 12-volt outlet is that this is a powered outlet, so this only gets turned on when the car is in ready mode. So when you shut the car off and lock it, this outlet is disconnected, so you don't have any power loss for that screen. Also, a lot of these screens require 12-volt power, and the USB ports in the front of the car don't provide enough power for it, and also those USB ports in the front are always powered. So there's an issue that you'd have to remember to turn off the screen when you're done. I think just using this port in the back eliminates having to worry about any of that. Let's unlock the car. And as we can see, the screens are off. I need to press the brake pedal to wake up. Close the door. You'll notice I changed the boot screen, which you can do on this unit. So let's go over this device. This is what it looks like when it starts up. So here's the startup screen. We have a number of different things I'm going to show you here. We have a home button here. We have a brightness control button. We have a Bluetooth button. Well, Bluetooth speaker button. We have a Dashcam button. Then we have a number of icons on here for the apps. Then up here we have a dash cam showing the recording is going on. We have CarPlay. We have a micro SD card showing that it's inserted. And then we also have the reception right here. So it has basically the date, the time in this corner. And these are the most common things you'll be using. We have CarPlay, Android Auto, we have AirPlay for Apple, and then Android Cast. We also have Bluetooth music, audio output, playback of the dash cam, and settings. So let's go into settings right now. And we will go into, there's a number of different things you can set: screensaver, left or right hand drive, split screen mode, brightness, assistive touch, clear connections, and service under the general category. Then we have camera, we have record resolution, and we have a number of different, you have 720p, 1080p, and 2.5K. So I have it for 2.5K, which is the highest. Segment duration, I usually like keeping these long for a dash cam. Collision sensitivity, you can set this to off, low, or middle. We have a microphone. You can either have the microphone on or off when recording. We have mirror rear image, which is not going to be used. I'm not going to be using a rear camera here. And the same with reverse line calibration. We're not using the rear camera with this setup. Let's go into system. We have language. We have sound on and off when you're going through the menus. Date and time. Let's go set this to the correct time. It's actually, let's see, what is today? It is October 24th. And it is 9:17. And then hit confirm. And then we have that saved. So that's basically it for these settings menus. We'll go back into the main menu here. If you want to set up sound on this device, we're going to be using audio output for that. And you can use the speaker on the device itself for sound, which honestly isn't very good. Bluetooth audio, which I'll be using with the Ocean. FM, which is possible to use, but it's not as good, I think, as Bluetooth audio. And we also have aux, which doesn't apply to the Ocean since it doesn't have an aux audio input on the vehicle. So we're going to leave it on Bluetooth audio. And what this does is it allows you to transfer the phone directly to the car, which is fine. So let's go back into the main menu. What else do we have here? Bluetooth music. Well, right now I have CarPlay connected, so I'm not going to be able to use that. Let me go into Dashcam. So if I click on the little camera button here, it shows the Dashcam. You get a nice wide angle view here. There's a little menu that comes up from the bottom. You can just press on the bottom of the screen, it pops up. You can turn recording on and off right here. We have a lock button. We have the photo button. We have the home button. So this basically is an instruction guide to show you how to set up Bluetooth on your phone to the unit for CarPlay. You turn Bluetooth on your phone, then you connect, and the device is T86 Pro AE98. So when you see that device, that's what you want to connect to. Android Auto, I'm not going to go into that right now, but it's pretty much the same thing. Then if you want to do AirPlay or Android Cast, you can do those things too. And Bluetooth music here, we can go into a Bluetooth music mode if we want to, but I'm not going to do that right now. So yeah, so those are the settings that you can set up for the car. Button here, so let's go back to here. And then microphone on and off. So those are all the functions for the Dashcam. So if you want to exit this, you just press the home button here. Playback. So after you record your Dashcam, you can go and look at the different files. So for example, I have one that I recorded here. I can go back into time. Let's see, is there anything while I'm driving? Let's see. Yep, so here's a driving example. So you get to see the full video on the screen. There is a timestamp with the date and time for the video. So that is very handy. And then when you need to, you can pop out the SD card that's in the unit here, and then you could put that in your laptop or computer and be able to use these Dashcam files. So when you're done viewing here, you can just press the pause. You can go to other ones if you want to. And oh, I want to also mention here, this is for locking a video. So if you record a video that's important, if you press lock while it's recording, it won't get deleted in case it runs out of space on your Dashcam SD card. And by the way, the unit comes with a 64 gigabyte SD card. I replaced that with an 128 gigabyte micro SD card. So that will have more recording capability. And yeah, so let's go into the main menu here. So here's the main menu again. If you want to go into CarPlay, press the CarPlay button. It will automatically do this when you start your car, and if you have your phone set for Bluetooth, it will automatically go into CarPlay mode, so that is handy to have. Here is your basic CarPlay screen. This is standard on most devices. You have a little quick app selection bar on the left, along with a home button. Here are the different menu items. If you go into your phone, you can arrange all the apps that are supported by Apple CarPlay. I happen to do this by picking my maps up here along with music, and then I have my EV apps along the bottom. And then, of course, if you have more apps, you can place them wherever you want. I have the rest of my apps like this. And then as you add more apps, it'll add more apps to this menu automatically. If you press this button here, it goes into a combo mode where it shows a map view along with some information up top, your music mode, and then also what's on your calendar. If I go back out to this, it goes to that mode. This little dot right here is the button for the menu for the screen. So you can press the brightness, you can go and change the brightness here. If I press it again, I have Bluetooth speaker volume I can set. I also can go straight into the dash cam right here. And if I press the home button, it goes back to the home screen of the device. So if you need to make any changes or go into dash cam or go into settings or anything else you want to do, change modes, you can do that to get back to this screen. One thing I wanted to show you in settings, if I go into general, there's a split screen mode. So I wanted to see what that looks like. So we have full screen and split screen. So let's, we were set for full screen. So let's do split screen and see what that looks like. And then go back into the menu and click on CarPlay. So now you have a split screen view of CarPlay information right here and your dash cam in this corner of the screen. So it's very handy to have if you want to see both things on at the same time. And if you want to go back to the full CarPlay screen, you can just do that right in the menu again. I can go back here, go into home, setting, change it back to full screen mode. And there we go. If we look at, let's go in the settings one more time. Screensaver, you can have a screensaver on here. Let's see what that looks like. If I leave it alone for 10 minutes or so, let me see what screensaver does. Let me go back into the screen. I haven't tried screensaver yet, so let's see what that looks like. So if you have screensaver mode, it just turns the screen off. So that is just, I guess, a way if you don't want the screen running, you can do that. So not a big deal. I am going to turn screensaver off because I want to have this running when I'm in the car. And the nice thing is every time the car starts, this screen will turn on automatically since it's connected to the rear 12-volt outlet, which is only active when the car is in ready mode. Let me see, is there anything else in here? Oh, okay, brightness is right here. So brightness, if you turn it to auto mode, that is probably what I'll leave it on, since it will automatically adjust the brightness depending on your conditions. So if it's bright outside, this will get brighter. So that is very handy if you go into driving at night or driving inside a parking garage. This will lower the brightness so you can see it better. Let's see what assistive touch is. Assistive touch, I guess, is just a touch on the screen. Yep, so that's pretty much it I can think of for all the settings on here. Let's go back to the main. Yeah, so that's basically it for the usage on the screen. I also want to let you know that the dash cam turns on automatically after a few seconds when this is turned on. So you'll notice that the little light is showing that it's recording. So dash cam is automatic, which is really nice. You don't have to remember to turn it on to get a history. And the 128 gigabyte card that I put in will store many hours, which would be great for a trip. If you want to record footage of your driving, you can do that. It will store many, many hours. So here's my view from the driver's seat. So it's basically what I see sitting and looking straight ahead. You have a good view of the road here. You have the Apple CarPlay device right here. So it is blocking a little bit of your windshield in this area right here. Give you some more views of that. However, if you want to have good view for the dash cam, the camera is mounted here. So it only makes sense to have this screen mounted directly under the mirror if you want to use the dash cam with the optimal viewing. For example, if I press dash cam, you can see right here, it is a very centered view, very nice wide angle view of what's out in front of your car. And it's also pretty easy to reach the screen. I can touch it with my hand right here. So that is pretty good. And also, while you're using it and following any navigation, having the mapping up here is easy to see. You don't have to take your eyes off the road. It's easy to just look over. So that's definitely a benefit here. I suppose if you want and didn't need a dash cam for this device, there are a couple different versions of this sold without the rear camera and also without the front dash cam. And if that's the case, you could relocate this to the dashboard mount right here. You can put it there, or you could put it on this side, or you could even put it further down on the windshield. The problem is if you put it way down on the windshield there, you can't really reach it. So that's a little bit annoying then. And if you did have it right here, it would, since it's a wide screen, it would be kind of hard to use right here because I don't know how much of the screen would get blocked by the car's center screen. So that's also a possible issue. But I kind of like the look right here. So this is definitely a usable position for it. Another thing I want to mention is when placing this unit on the windshield using the mount, make sure you have a little bit of a gap here of like a finger or so that when you want to, you could press the mirror here and then put it into the digital camera mode, and then you can always switch it back. So if you leave that little bit of a gap, you can get your finger in there to switch the mirror to the different modes. Hey Siri, navigate to O'Malley's Pub.
Head west on Strickland Road toward Creedmoor Road, then use the left 2 lanes to turn left onto Creedmoor Road.
So I can adjust the voice, can turn that on and off right here. Another nice thing about the Bluetooth audio is you can use this button here to press in to pause the music, press it again to unpause, and then you can go through the different tracks by pressing left and right. All right, I've reached my destination and everything seems to be working well. Let me get out of the car and show you how a shutdown works. Okay, I just lock and everything shuts off. One nice thing about this display is that for security reasons, if you want to lock your car in a place that may be a little questionable, you can remove the display from the mount. All you would need to do is hold on to the display, hold the mount behind it, and then push upwards on the display. Then it snaps out. Then just pull out the USB-C cable, and then you can take the device and store it. One convenient location would be under the driver or passenger front seat. You can just open the door and then you could just insert the screen. It's actually just big enough to hold the screen, and then you close it up. Now I'm going to reattach the screen to the mount. First thing I'm going to do is take the USB-C cable and attach it to the port. And then I can mount this over the center here and then press down to lock it in. So now it's locked into place. And now for the power button. If you press the power button once, it's basically like a pause. It shuts the screen off, but it's still running. So if you press it again, it turns back on. If you want to fully power down, you can either remove the USB-C cable or hold the power button for a few seconds. And then it says shutting down on the screen, and then the screen turns off and the unit is not powered anymore. All right, so that's about everything I can think of to show for this screen for this Lamtto device. I am going to now show you the Atoto device, and I'm going to set that up right now.